Hi, and welcome to my first series here on OpenTTD, where I am going to try and build a country effectively and trying to build the smallest city in the game up to the largest city in the game, but also building the whole country and bringing the whole thing together. The settings are going to be on a 1024 map by 1024 and low towns, low industries. We start date is 1940. It's going to be hilly with the sea level medium, and it's going to be on a standard temperate map. Now what I've already done, I've just jumped ahead a little bit and I've created a game already, Inwood Transport, and as it loads we will just tell you a little bit about what we're trying to do. So as I said, we're trying to grow Inwood, 67 people at the moment, to be more than 20,000 and build this as the largest town in the region. Now, just to show you what we've done so far to set it up, I have set it up as the smallest by population, by 5 from Prudtown, but we are here in Inwood. Very little in the region, quite quiet, but we're not going to necessarily worry about building this just yet. We're going to try and find somewhere where we can establish an income, and then we will be able to develop as we want. And the income that we normally look for is what pays the most. Now, regular users of the game or players of the game will know that coal is always a fairly reliable source, particularly in the early years, in the early to mid 1900s. Valuables don't really become a thing until later in the game, and some of these other products just drop too much. You see here that is goods, and it just starts off high and just drops right into the middle of the pack by the end. Coal, as you can see it in there, is here, and you can just see it come on and off, and it starts off as third and drops. As the others drop, it ends up as the most impressive over a period of time. So what we're going to try and do is find on the map a place where there are some coal mines. Let's actually take a look at the map. Okay, nice spread, nice kind of regions and lots of empty spaces. Let's look at the hills. Okay, we want to try and avoid some of these hills. These hills aren't great. We're also, Inwood is in the middle of a hill. Let's just look at where we are ourselves when we go back to it in Inwood. So we are here in this region of the map. So it's quite flat for this whole region. This is going to become the center of the universe in time. But first we're going to start a little platform somewhere else to build our entire nation off. Let's look for a power station, because power stations are where we send coal. We can see 4 flashing on the screen. We've 1 to the left, 1 to the right, and 2 quite close together in the middle. I think we're going to look at one of those, and particularly as I look at it and I go over to the coal mines and see where the sources of coal are, I see a lot of them flashing pretty much all over the screen. But up here in particular, if we look at this power station, it's in a relatively flat zone, if I can find it there. Yeah, here it is here. Relatively flat area, lots of open space around it, no towns to get in the way, a couple of little aerials, but we'll worry about them at a later date. I don't think it'll be a major problem. And we have coal mines to beat the band everywhere around us. We've got 6 of them in a little arc around this bay. So what we could do is we could set up, let's put on the terrain again. So we're just here, just south of this big mountain range or hill, so we don't want to go through that, but we could go around here, and what we could end up doing is we could take each of these into a little arc and generate all of that coal and put it all into one station somewhere around here, and then feed it to the power station here, and then we can add in obviously more coal into that one station. So we're going to build an absolutely massive receiving coal station here, a depot here, not a depot as we know it in the game, but a kind of a large station that just accumulates all the coal in this region. There's a few more spots down here, 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 and here, and here. So there's plenty of coal around. So what we're going to do is we're going to build that depot, and then in time we'll build depots in other spots and maybe run them to other power stations. So we're going to focus on power stations for the start, and we're going to build the receiving station here and a big warehouse effectively here where all of these feed into the one location. So let's see what we're going to do. We are from a financial point of view and our business look. We're Nindhall Transport, which of course is what we're going to make the capital. I've called myself Leitrim Lad because that's where I'm from, and I am a lad. I've picked this face. It's not really look like me, but that's the closest I can probably get. Dark green is my favorite color, so we're going to go with that. And the company name is, of course, the capital city, or the soon-to-be capital city, Inwood Transport. We've lost £60 on our first day for property maintenance. Just never get over those bills, do you? And we have obviously a maximum loan of 300,000. So I think we're probably going to start with this one on the map. So we are here, or this one or other of them. As in fact, we might just build a depot station. We'll build it probably with this iron ore mine. No, we won't. We'll build it separate. And we know we want to go to the coal mine, which is here. So let's see if we can find a nice route through, probably up around here. Yeah, I'm gonna work off this station here, and everybody else can come into it. In terms of the production of coal, that's pretty high. And over here, this one is it's not bad. It's kind of around the same ballpark. So let's close these down. That one is lower again. These two very close together, 128 and 160. Now, that might even be our best bet, but I don't want to be bringing coal this direction to bring it back down in another direction. So that will probably be our second station, and there's loads of coal there too. So plenty of coal in this region, and we need to bring it to the coal or the power station down here, which of course accepts coal. Let's work backwards. Let's build in the receiving station first. And we are one step up on the platform there, but we want to go this way. So let's just build it. We only need two because it's only going to have two stations coming in. As long as it accepts coal, we are in a good place. Let's give us a bit of space from the station if we need to make it bigger down the line. Of course, you can't pause it. So we are now up and running. Very exciting. I like to make it fairly accessible to get into the station. It takes up a good bit of space, but it means that we can expand easier if we need to. And there we go. That's our basic platform for how we're going to build our stations going forward. Now I'm going to tidy this up as we go, but I want to find a route that works up to here. And I want to build, how many stations do we need? I want one station or two stations that will allow us to be the receiving station. So two tracks that are going to allow us to send our coal to the station, both the coal that comes from this particular spot and the other stations. But we're going to need another station or two, another track or two that are going to drop in from the other stations. So let's make it a four-way track going this way. And we're going to start off with just our... Oh, I just want to make sure I didn't make a mistake, and I did. Well done. I'm an idiot. Idiot is an Irish word for an idiot. So that supplies coal. So now we can go back. So that does supply coal. I think I just like wasting money. Okay, now I'm going to try and get it as close to this as I can. I probably should have gone a bit further out and gone this one as I can. And close it up, and we're just going to build it. We're not going to spend too much time because I have a little bit of money, so I'm not overly worried just yet about how this is going to work and how this is going to play out. But let's come down to here and let's zoom back out again and see where we are looking to go. We're looking to get down here. We want to try and avoid the hills, so let's go back in and get a better view. So we need to avoid this hill, so we're going to turn to the left effectively down here, cut across here and back in to the railway station. So we're going to create what is effectively going to become a route the whole way down through here that cuts off here. So we're going to end up somewhere around there. And I think as we look through it, we can see that this is going to have to go up on a climb at some point. We might end up using some tunnels, but that will be okay too. We're going to come back and build a second track as well further along the line before we end up doing this. Now here is probably the point I want to come through, because I don't want to get cut across the farm if I can avoid it. And I want to try and stay on the level that this station is going to be on. Where are we going to? We're going here, so we're on effectively level well, one above sea level. But as we go through here, this is the level. So that's up 1. Do you know what? We're actually just going to build it, and then we will worry about it at a later point. We can tidy it all up when we have money coming in. So we won't be too particular about how it's going to go just yet. So we'll try and stay on the same levels, but for the moment I'm just going to build the station. And that's not where I want to go. I want to come down here, but let's just build out. We can tidy it up as we go. And finish it up here. No, that's not going to let me build that. That's fine too. Let's take these out for a second. And let's just raise that area. Just build the line. Let's get our money back for this one. We don't want to use this in the end. And we're going to rebuild this line here. So we get to there, and then it goes crazy again. So again, we'll just try and take as much of this out of this as we can. I probably should have spent a bit more time working out the possibilities and permutations here, but we are where we are. And we're spending a lot of money on all of that. You know, we're just going to bite the bullet and pay the money. It's probably not recommended. You're probably better off have some sort of money in the bank at the start, but we're going to build one line. We know it's going to be profitable, so we're going to just build the line. And there we go. So now we can get one line through, and then we'll build a second one right beside it. So we're going to end up moving all of that land again, but it will get through. We might even just let it run. So yeah, we want to just do it all over again. Okay, so this is kind of time consuming, but that's part of the fun of the game. I like the strategy aspect and trying to work out how is the most efficient way of doing it. And while this is costing an absolute arm and a leg for us right now, it is by 100% the most efficient way of running the train from where it is. What am I doing? Of running the train from where it is to where it needs to go. So I have no idea why that won't work. Sorry. Need more money. See, we do run out of money really quickly. But that will be okay. We will get there. Let's build the line. We're going to have to cut the corner off that farm. That's fine. We've avoided going through the farm, which does increase the building costs. But we are in a pretty good place, all things being equal. Let's go back and rearrange this a little bit better as well. So we want to just increase this little step here. That way we can just build it off nice and easy. Have two lines, one in each direction, which means we can run multiple trains, which is going to be needed when we start our network. And here we go, a second line into the first two places here. We now have a complete network. We just need to tidy it up a little bit, make it that we can go in on either spot in the station. We're going to... No, that's the wrong one. I can't quite get my head around these, so I prefer to use the ones with lights. They're just a bit more intuitive, in my head at least. So this is going to be our up line, so you could only go this way, which means we're going to put in the stop-go that direction, and we're going to change the other stop-go on the other side to this direction, which means a train coming out of the station can only go this way. It cannot come back down here. We're going to go with a double entry. There we go. Nice. A double entry option on the route so that trains can go in and out of the station but can't leave the station unless there is a problem. That might not be the best way of doing it. If you've got a better suggestion, please let me know down below, but that is the way I do it. It just means we avoid any issues. I like to make my trains four platform lengths and not go above them. And I just find the train moves faster when it has to carry less stock, so you end up basically covering the same distance in a relatively shorter space of time, and you get more runs in because it goes faster and it loads quicker, so you keep everything happy. Now we're going to have at least 2 trains on this route, but we're going to see how it goes for the time being. We will create the second train while we have the money and while we have it all ready to go. So we've just copied over the orders, and we now have 2 trains running the exact same route, and it will load, and then once it's full it will leave Weddingwell Woods. We're going to rename this to Weddingwell Mines, and that is our coal mine. And just to keep it nice and easy, we started like this, and that way we always end up with it being much clearer in terms of what's going on and where our money is and where our routes are, and we can keep track of everything an awful lot easier down the road. Okay, so we have our first route, which is from this station, Weddingwell Coal Mine. Produces 162 tons of coal. That's a lot of coal, and it sends it down this upper route to our power station. Okay, so we're up and running. We have our train filling up. We're just going to keep an eye on that, so I'm just going to open them both here in the top corner of the screen so we can just keep an eye on their progress and how they're getting on. I have a feeling with the speed that that's filling up, we're going to end up needing a lot more than just the 2 trains on the route, but it goes the whole way down, picks up. Now it does stay on the same level the whole way here, so this is obviously at a higher level than what the other one is. This one accepts nothing. Oh, we've made a bit of a boo-boo there, and I did the same thing that I made the mistake on the other side, which means that we might need to so the point, oh, okay, there. What we might be able to get away with is just drag and drop and make it a little bit longer on this side. And now it should accept coal. It does. It accepts coal. I don't like doing that, but it does have the effect of having the same effect. It kind of throws off the balance of the station somewhat, but nonetheless, it does work. Okay, we want to go back to these ones actually, not the double ways. We want to make them one way only signs going that direction as they come out of the station, the same, and a little stop there. We're going to get rid of these 2, and we'll leave that one for a reason. I'm going to put in a depot just so it can load and unload and get serviced if it needs it or requires it. So where are we? First train is up and running, ready to hit the road. I'm not really happy with how this works. I'm going to change this later on, and I'm going to make this stop up 1 completely on its own so that it doesn't slow down repeatedly. Like we slow down here, we turn, we slow down here, we turn. It's going to be all in the one movement, and then it's going to pick up speed again, just to try and improve the efficiency of the route. We're going to see the first one get there. Keep an eye here, we're 55%, so if that gets to 70 or 80 and we're still not anywhere close to being back, we're going to put a 3rd train on the route, and we'll get our first income check from each of the trains, and then we'll probably wrap up and see for the episode and see how we get on the second episode, which will be bringing in these extra coal mines as feeders. Where are we going? Up here. As feeders. The 6 coal mines total. 1, 2, 3. The one we have serviced. I must have missed one there as well. Oh, that's 4. So it's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And that'll just create a cash cow. This is up to 93%. So we're going to actually recreate another train. So we're going to clone another copy, and we are going to send it off. So as this one leaves, this one's going to pull into the station. And because we've used path signals, they can use both tracks at the same time. Let's see what this is worth to us. 33,000. Every time that happens, the next one should be slightly larger because it would have taken a while just to get that up and running. So now that we're up and running, we can expect about 33 to 35,000 every time one of these guys gets to their destination, which is very nice. So every time each one gets through, 3 of them come through, it's about 100,000 every single opportunity, What I like to do, just to reduce the loan interest, it's quite small in the grand scheme of things, but just to reduce it, pay back money that you can while you're working out your next possible routes. So we are down 200,000 on a loan. We have very little of that left, 8,000, but we're going to borrow more in a minute to develop the next phase of the network. And we have a net debt effectively of 192,000. But what we have now is every couple of months, one of these trains arrives at the destination, and it adds up 33,000, 35,000 to our route. So just make sure this train gets in okay, and that we have a full circuit. While this one is up at 77. Now, if this one doesn't get back in time, which is a strong possibility it won't, we might actually end up putting a fourth train on the network. It's very important when you look here at the ratings to keep this as high as possible, and having a train waiting in the station. Yeah, and it's not going to get back in time. So we're going to actually take a stab at another train. So we might have to borrow a little bit of money, make another train, and send it off. Oh, it would have got back. We've just spent the money. But still, we're okay. It'll mean two trains waiting in the station, so there's no overlap. Or there is an overlap, but that's okay too. It'll keep our... See, we dropped by 1% just because a train left. We can't really afford that because that affects how much money and how much coal is produced, and that'll have to try and keep that as high as we possibly can as we go forward. But now I think we're going to take a look at train 2, who also just landed recently, and profit 33,000. So I didn't quite see what came in, but it must have been a considerable amount to keep us above the profit line on that score. Okay, so our third train is heading off, and as you can see, 39,000 in the bank. Again, we're going to pay off that loan just for the moment, so we're back to where we were, 100,000 overdrawn, but we now have 4 trains on the line. It might be slightly overkill. We might have 1 train too many. We'll see what happens when this train gets back, and if it does get back in time for the 2 trains, I will sell one of those trains and get some of our money back on that. But for the time being, that is pretty much where we are. Let's go back and look at Nindwood. With 67 people living in the town, we've gained 1 person. Yeah, it's not really going anywhere at the moment, but we are not worried about that just yet. That's our ultimate goal, but we need to get to the situation where we have a little bit of money running, and then we will work at what we can get out of it in the over the next few weeks and months as we continue to develop our network. We're over here. Let me go back to our... It's a long way over to our train stations. So yeah, 68 people living there. Once this train gets in, and that means all of our 3 original trains will have reached the destination and got a paycheck. And when we click in, the first 3 trains at least will all have a positive... Oh no, we've gone on to the second year, but we can see there, this train made money last year, this train made money this year, this one is just about to kick in and get some money back on our paycheck, 33,000, brilliant. So these 2 in profit. Now overall, this train service has brought in 65,000 euros this year. I'm going to say euros, I mean pounds, you know what I mean. I'm Irish, we use euros over here. So profit last year, 30,000 pounds. This year, 64,000. That's just going to go up and up and up. So let's just pay off the debt. We have little to no money, but we only owe 160,000 pounds. So that is going to be the end of our episode today. I'm going to pause that and I'm going to save it as Nindwood Transport on the 7th of March 1941. And we will pick this up from our next episode.